Good morning, Unity. Like the dew in the morning, gently rest upon my heart. Like the dew in the morning, gently rest upon my heart. Would everybody sing that with us this morning?
Like the dew in the morning, gently rest upon my heart.
Like the dew in the morning,
Like the dew in the morning, gently rest upon my heart.
Ooh, we say rest,
Rest, Spirit, rest, Spirit, rest, Spirit,
like the
dew in the morning. Rest, Spirit, rest, Spirit, rest, Spirit, rest,
like the dew in
the morning.
Spirit rest upon my heart. Like the dew in the morning,
Like the dew in the morning, gently rest upon my heart.
and we say rest,
Rest, Spirit, reign, Spirit, move, Spirit,
like the dew
in the
we
morning.
say rest,
Rest, Spirit, reign, Spirit, move, Spirit, yes,
we say
rest, Spirit, reign, Spirit, move, Spirit, like the dew in the morning. Rest, Spirit, reign, Spirit, move, Spirit, yes,
we say
rest,
rain,
rain,
move, yes, rest,
rest,
say rain,
rain,
say move, yes,
yes,
say yes,
yes,
say
yes,
say
yes,
say
yes,
say
yes,
say
yes,
say yes,
like the dew in the morning,
gently rest up,
gently rest upon my heart.
like the dew in the morning,
Like the dew in the morning, gently rest upon my heart.
Won't you gently rest, Spirit?
Gently rest upon my heart.
Ooh,
Gently rest upon my heart.
Thank you. Good morning, Unity. We have fall weather. Halloween's coming up. It doesn't get much better. So yay, thank you for being here. I'm Susan Kimball, and your announcement lady, and I need my slides changed, please. Thank you. Christmas choir rehearsals have already begun. Still accepting people. Okay. Saturdays at 11:30 is when you rehearse for Christmas coming up. So please, if the music calls to you, please do that. We need food pantry donations. So what I do is I go to Costco and just buy some stuff in bulk and bring it on over. So please bring that and donate for people in need, which seems to go up as the weather gets colder. This is hard to read, but this is the pet blessing coming up Saturday, October 21st. So that's next Saturday. So come by to get a blessing for your pet. And I believe you could bring your pet or a picture to have a blessing for your pet at that time. And Qigong is today. It's a breath meditation movement exercise, 12 to 1 in the history room. So stop by there today after service. Trunk or treat is coming up. Is it the 22nd? That's what I thought. 22nd, next Sunday. It's free, and you can decorate your trunk, bring candy, and one of the cool things is that we've got our special guests of stormtroopers. So it's going to be fun for all the kids. So please announce this on your Facebook page. You can share what Unity puts out on Facebook. You can put it on your Nextdoor app, because it's open to anybody, and this is a great way to get people to come in and say, oh, so what's this church thing about? And so please get it out there. Tell people, and let's get a lot of people for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And happy Halloween on October 29th. We want you to dress up and come in. It's always lots of fun. Reverend Brenda always has a great outfit. That's fun to see. Yeah, so it'll be fun. Come on by. And Spa for the Soul is coming up also. So that is, I should know this, November. I know it's November 5th, because I'll be there. And a lot of lovely people will be there, booths, people to offer energy healing and other modalities. So please stop by for that. That will be after church. Always is really well received, and just a wonderful place to do some self-care. So please join us for that. All right, now let's take some time to go into meditation. So you can close your eyes or lower your gaze. And let's start by taking a deep, full body breath. Let go of everything that no longer serves you. Breathe in peace and love. And let's take this time to consider giving and receiving. How am I giving? How could I give more? Where might I be holding on a little tightly? And I can let that go. And how can I receive? We often think of giving and we don't often think of receiving. But it is also joyful for others to give to us. So where can I receive? So let's take this time in silence to enter into the heart, to consider in what ways can I give to others, to my community, to my church, and in what ways can I receive from others? Allowing that beautiful law of circulation to just really go so smoothly in us, through us, and out from us. So let's take this time in silence to just consider that from this lovely heart space where we are right now. Oh, I know that divine source is in all as all, in every person, in every situation. And I know that I am one with this love, with this grace, and with each and every person in the sanctuary and each person watching online. I know that in this beautiful time that we come from a place of giving from the heart, giving support and love and our abundance to allow that circulation to come back, and we receive. We receive a compliment with grace. We receive a gift with a thank you. And this beautiful law of circulation continues on. And I'm so very grateful. Grateful for this time, grateful for the gifts of giving and receiving. Grateful for our music ministry and for the lovely message today. And I release these words knowing it is so, with ease, grace, love, and joy. And so it is. Amen.
So at this time, we would like for everyone to stand and sing with us our spirit song.
Put your hands together. Do it again. All right, we got, well, let's see, 12 people clapping. All right, okay, there comes some more. All right. How are you this morning? All right. We come
to raise our collect.
We come
to birth new creations.
We come
to unify.
We come
to share our life.
Everybody got to clap them hands. We're going to get to stomping our feet in just a little bit. We come in this place to open our hearts in new ways. Now, if everybody in this place would dare to live in ways not to sin anymore, we come
to raise our collect.
We come
to birth new creation.
We come
to
unify. We come
to share our life.
We come in this place to open our hearts in new ways. Everybody just in this place would dare to live in ways not to sin anymore. We come
to raise our collect.
We come
to birth new creation.
We come
to
unify. We come
to share our life.
Everybody just clap your hands. Everybody right here, just stomp your feet.
Everybody just clap your
Hey, yeah.
Everybody just stomp
Come on
your
and stomp your feet.
Everybody just sing again.
For your joy.
For your joy.
Hey, yeah. We've come to sow
We've
peace.
come to sow peace.
We've come everywhere.
to sow love.
We come to
We've
sow
come to
peace
sow joy.
every day.
Hallelujah.
Lord have mercy. We've come
to sow peace.
We've come
to sow love.
We've come
to
Lord
sow
have
joy.
mercy. Namaste. Everybody we've come
We've come to sow peace.
every day.
We've come to sow love.
Oh, we gonna
We've
dance.
come to
Everybody.
sow joy.
Hey, Jesus.
Jesus.
Hey. Yeah, we've come. Keep clapping your hands. Stomp your feet.
Awesome. Get you going. I am Susan again, and I am also your prayer chaplain today. So I'll be offering prayer after service in the Peace Chapel. So please stop on by. So continuing on the theme of giving and receiving. If nature has made you for a giver, your hands are born open, and so is your heart. And though there may be times when your hands are empty, your heart is always full. And you can give things out of that. Warm things, kind things, sweet things, help and comfort and laughter. And sometimes gay, kind laughter is the best help of all. That's from Frances Hodgson Burnett in the book A Little Princess. And there's more. And then from Alexander McCall Smith in the book Love Over Scotland. Gracious acceptance is an art which most never bother to cultivate. We think that we have to learn how to give, but we forget about accepting things, which can be much harder than giving. Accepting another person's gift is allowing them to express their feelings for you. And so it is.
So this next song, you're going to have to do a long intro. It's called Let It Shine. Sometimes we like to intentionally dull who we are because we feel like we have to apologize for who we are. But the Creator loved variety. So he doesn't want you to behave like everybody else. He wants you to be you. As long as we're not hurting people, you need to be who you are. Gonna be the first on the dance floor, the first to raise my hand, the first to state my opinion, the first to take the stand. I won't play it safe then, wait for a sign. I'm gonna throw myself out there and let my light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. I'll let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. Woo! I'll be on Oprah and Conan, 60 Minutes and The View. They'll all be talking about me and all the things I do. I'll be the one who sets the bar, the one who's in the know. Both will come to me to see where fashion trends will go. 'Cause I shine, yes I shine. I'll let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. For too many years I've hidden my light, fearing I was too much and who I was just wasn't right. Then I heard this voice from within and up above, saying you're here to be a shining light and give and receive love. So I'm going for my dreams. Nothing's in my way. Carpe diem is my mantra. Practice kindness every day. I take the time to connect. I take time to have fun. I want to know I've used up every drop before my life is done. So I shine, yes I shine. I'll let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. Take it over, Mario. Michael's not with us this morning, but they sound fabulous. Give them a hand. Oh, for too many years I've hidden my light, fearing I was too much and who I was just wasn't right. Then I heard this voice from within and up above, saying you're here to be a shining light and give and receive love. Give and receive love. I am a woman of power, a woman of grace. The light that uplifts in every wrinkle on my face. And I love myself, and I love you too. And I know when we're connected, there ain't nothing we can't do. So let's shine, let's all shine. Let's let our big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. I see you shine, oh yes you shine. I see your big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant
light shine.
Watch me shine. Oh, I
Shine.
I let my
Big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. Shine.
Let's all
Shine.
Let's think of
Big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light.
That was fabulous. And can I say that Demora's looking very Tina Turner-ish. Yeah, all right. So I am Reverend Brenda, for those of you who are new here today. And how many people do we have here new? If you could just raise your hands. Yay, thanks for being with us. Today we have a guest speaker, and this falls in line with our learning about other faiths. We've had different ones throughout the months this year, and today is our Wicca speaker, and his name is Jeremy Fricke. He is the vice president of the Tri-Faith Initiative, and he is vice president of Mission Advancement. That's right. I was going to say something else. He's vice president of Mission Advancement, and he is a Wicca. And so he is going to educate us today on that faith. So please help me welcome him to Unity of Omaha.
Let's see. All right, I'm going to put up this Wheel of the Year. I'm not sure how much all of you know about Wicca. And actually, I personally am not Wiccan. Sorry. I'm new here. I raised my hand. So I'm actually not Wiccan, but many of my best friends are Wiccan, and my spouse is Wiccan actually as well. I've also studied Wicca myself, both personally and professionally. So how many of you have learned enough to say maybe 5 sentences about Wicca? Okay, that gives me a good idea about where we're at. So I'm going to start a little bit with some history, and then I'm just going to kind of go through some of the common experiences, tell you a couple stories in my own life, and we can definitely have whatever kind of conversational questions or discussion you'd like to have. So Wicca was originally founded in 1954. Kind of depends on exactly how you measure it, because that is when Gerald Gardner in the UK said, I had this experience. I went to the forests in the United Kingdom and met this coven of witches who are keeping an ancient tradition alive. He went to the public and said, this is what is going on. Of course, very controversial at the time. But it caused a huge stir in the community. And it was just such a pivotal moment, because what happens in the 50s and 60s and 70s is we have a lot of social change and some questions about what is tradition, right? What is useful? What is helpful for society to move forward? There's kind of this essence of maybe we can move toward peace or toward a better environment and things like that, right? A lot of movements are kind of coalescing, and Wicca has something to say about all of those things, right? So over the few decades after, we have really one particularly effective woman named Doreen Valiente. She was considered the first high priestess in many ways, which most Wiccan communities have a high priestess and a high priest. Everything I say today, by the way, is going to have just as many exceptions as rules. As you know, with any kind of religion or spirituality, I can say anything here, and about half of you would say, I don't know if that applies to me, right? And that's how all religion and spirituality is, but maybe especially for Wicca. So she really broadened it, brought it to America, wrote tons of books and really emphasized the importance of both having a community, but also having the potential of being able to practice this religion by yourself. It's still a tiny religion, and it can be kind of scary to call yourself a witch or a Wiccan in America or in the UK, especially in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. So just since I said witch and Wiccan, when I use the term Wiccan, I'm talking about people who self-identify as Wiccan. And I'm trying to paint a picture of what Wicca is, but I refuse to say this is exactly what Wicca is, right? I'm not a huge fan of creating anything that says this is the right way to be something, right? It's more like when we start adding the experiences and stories of a lot of people together, we start to see a better picture of what a community looks like, right? So, this movement continued through the Satanic Panic in the 80s and 90s. A lot of questions were raised about Wiccans. Again, like I could say Wiccans don't worship Satan, but there'd always be an exception, you know, just like any tradition, which we'll talk about more in a second. Finally, today, we really are in a place where Wicca has an interesting position in society. There's a huge amount of appreciation for the practices that are associated with Wicca, but the appreciation of the religion itself is not really there. So at Tri-Faith, we talk about the 5 Bs of religion, spirituality. I use those terms as broadly as you can imagine. The 5 Bs, and I apply this to every religion to some extent: belief, behavior. Belief is just, you know, what you think about, what you have faith in, and also what you don't have faith in, right? Behavior would be your rituals, as well as the way that you engage with the world with your ethics, right? So like, I saw that you all were giving food to the food pantry. That's an example of a behavior that's inspired by the spirituality, religious community tradition that you're a part of, right? Belonging, which is the way that we engage with the community itself, multiple people gathering together. And then the last 2, which I've added as part of Tri-Faith, is becoming, which is the process of change, has a particularly special place in religion. And then finally, body, where we have embodied experiences with religion and spirituality. We also are perceived certain ways, and those ways are applied to how we engage with our religion. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about all those pieces here with Wicca. But first, let's talk really quickly about belief. How many of you have heard of the Golden Rule? Okay. So most traditions have something that is kind of a core ethic of treating people well, right? Well, the Wiccan Rede, which is basically a long poem that outlines much of the popular beliefs about Wicca. It ends with, "And it harm none, do what ye will." It's important to notice there that it really is a religion or spirituality around autonomy of the individual to do what's best for them, while keeping in mind the impact it may have on others, right? It's a little different than treating someone as you wish to be treated, but it has some overlap, right? It has something special to teach us. The second piece that I want to talk about really quickly with the Wiccan Rede is the threefold law. Have any of you heard of this? That's cheating. I'm just kidding. So the threefold law, and I think a lot of us kind of believe this in some capacity, maybe not as literally as this, but the threefold law really just says what you give out, you will receive. 3 times over is kind of the rule of thumb of sorts, and people around in the community all have different views on how literal that is, right? And how much they have a responsibility to participate in providing that good to others that are giving good, right? Like, if I do good, and I hope I do, we all have a responsibility to support those doing good. That's part of receiving that good back, right? So the last two core areas of belief that I want to talk about here is balance. Balance is also key. When Gerald Gardner started the religion, there was definitely a belief that the world had become too male-centric to some extent. So many religions do orient around the idea of a male god of sorts. And his community offered up, let's have two, really. A male deity and a female deity, and they shall basically forever be balanced to some extent. The male deity can be almost any male deity, and the female deity can be almost any female deity. Most Wiccans kind of choose or are chosen by a male deity and a female deity to balance their lives, to kind of guide their lives. And then finally, we have nature, the divinity of nature. Right? Nature itself is sort of the authorship of the divine. There's another phrase that's often used in Wicca, as above, so below, right? Probably heard that in other spaces as well. That means that a lot of the things on earth and the things that are in the divine realm that is somewhat separate from earth are similar. There's some overlap. That means whether it's that nature represents something about the divine, or whether that means like humanity and deities have more similarities than we thought. You know, deities are not perfect in Wicca. There's many, many deities, and sometimes they're in competition with each other, sometimes they're in collaboration with each other, and the hope is that it results in balance, right? Perfection is not really something that's sought after. It's more of a balance, right? So my spouse actually moved to Wicca probably about 10 years ago, but only about a year ago started really being out about it. She grew up in a very, very restrictive form of Christianity, and one of the big things that really affected her was some of the teachings around sexuality, right? It really challenged her personal view of self-worth and things like that. And I'm not saying that's true for every community, but it was true for her personal experience. And that reflection on sexuality in particular really influenced her need to find a space that gave openness to that, right? So, you know, she went seeking for a few years and kind of came across Wicca, and she's currently at what we call a solitary practitioner. But I think the thing that is most valuable to her personally, not to every Wiccan, but to her personally, is actually the importance of nature and its representation of the divine. So I have like a little, it's actually an altar cloth on here that's the Wheel of the Year. I don't know if you can see it in the back or not, but have you all heard of some of these holidays? Like, so Samhain and Yule and Litha, etc. There's 8, 16, I don't know. I'm not the best all the time. I'm not perfect, let me know. But basically we have holidays on each equinox and solstice, and then between each equinox and solstice. Okay, so all the holidays are really guided around the seasons at its core. You know, I remember she asked off for December 21st, winter solstice, to be able to celebrate her religion with her family. And she was denied the ability to do that at her former workplace, right? Because it wasn't really seen as legitimate as some of the others, right? Of course, that's illegal, but it's hard to get around all that. So this Wheel of the Year is really something that we do a lot in our house. And actually, the book that is weighting this, you're welcome to look at it after this. It's actually a book about how to raise families in Wicca, basically, or goddess traditions. Every they call them sabbats. Every sabbat of these holidays, we do something. And actually, on the fall equinox, we had a little harvest feast. Made sure that every food was local and kind of in season, right? We had a lot of squash, a ridiculous amount of squash, actually. But people didn't get tired of it, it seemed like. We got some fall harvest mushrooms that grow around here. And also, I started getting into foraging for mushrooms myself after all this conversation about fall harvest and mushrooms. But we invited all my coworkers over, and people just had a good time. We just ate some food, told a story about the fall equinox, and had conversations about religion, kind of interfaithy, because to be honest, it's very hard to be very many religions in America without being pretty involved in interfaith work, right? Especially smaller religions. So, belonging-wise, she is a soul practitioner, and really there's two strands. There's covens, which take their lineage from very popular teachers of Wicca that have done particular rituals and had particular experiences that they pass on to kind of their community. And then there's solitary or soul practitioners who generally study on their own, which is the largest group of Wiccans. But I think something that's actually important to remember, especially with Wiccans and pagans generally, and we can definitely unpack all that later, is the importance and the role of like metaphysical supply stores. They kind of end up sitting in a place where it's almost a church, right? Almost a church. Because without them, it's very difficult to find people, like-minded people. Plus, because they sell to a wide variety of folks, they are able to sustain themselves even with a very small community, right? The becoming piece of Wicca, again, you can kind of go through the coven path and be initiated, and there's a ritual process that varies drastically depending on the coven that you're a part of, or you can just kind of be. And the truth is like, if we're being honest about most religions, there isn't really a point where, okay, now I'm done, I have completed the process of becoming this tradition, really, right? We're always learning, we're always engaging, we're always making new connections. I would say that's especially true for Wicca. There's a reason why they'll often say that we practice Wicca, right? It is a practice more than anything, really. You're continuously trying new things, etc. Magic and prayer and meditation all kind of have a blurry line. I mean, I think, again, like in greater society, even beyond Wicca, I think that's kind of true, right? Many Wiccans will have rituals and spells. These spells look, in my opinion, a lot like prayers and meditations when you have extra stuff, right? And especially stuff from nature, right? Symbols that both can be literal and figurative. You know, the life of a tree is both a true life in and of itself, but it's also a symbol of kind of divine life too, right? And then, you know, coming back to the body component, I think that this has grown tremendously, especially among younger women, although it's full for all sorts of people. It's open to everybody, but it does tend to attract women in particular because of its appreciation of the embodied experience of being a woman. Very directly, very specifically. There's, again, that as above, so below. Well, that means to some extent that even those divine deities, give birth. They have embodied experiences of being man or woman and others. You know, gender is fluid and a wide variety of ways that is represented in Wicca as well. But so much of it does kind of involve this duality. And I don't mean that as black and white, but more like two sides of a spectrum, right? When I say male and female, I mean everything in between. When I say black and white, I mean all the gray in between too, right? So I think it's very important for us to recognize that Wiccans are a growing religious community who have a lot in common with, I think, many communities. And I mean, they're going to continue to grow. I know in my experience, anyway, and if you look on like pop culture, like if you watch Netflix or something like that, and there's someone who identifies as a witch or a Wiccan, although it's getting a little less negative, it is still kind of one-dimensional, I would say, two-dimensional, I don't know. The tropes still continue to be a hypersexualized person, a teenager in a phase, or, you know, emo goth kind of person. I mean, I assume that feels true because I see quite a few people even nodding their head at some of the stuff that they've seen. I think it's important for us to remember that there's so much diversity, not only within Wicca, but within all religious traditions, that these kind of monolithic representations do end up causing a lot of issues, right? It's still very difficult for Wiccans to feel like they belong in the context of religious diversity because so often it's thought of as a phase or as something that they're pretending or something like that. And I think that's a shame. Finally, before we kind of have some conversation, I hope, Wiccans are, I can repeat it a bazillion times and not really get through, is how diverse Wicca is. You know, I went to a panel at the Parliament of World Religions just a couple months ago, and it was about masculine gender in a feminist tradition, Wicca, right? There were 2 trans men and 1 cisgender straight man on the panel. One said that he has never had a truly religious experience that says this is, I know that this is true. The other 2 did feel like they did, right? One said that he didn't really worship any deities. He worshiped the symbols of nature, right? Like the symbol of the bear and the symbol of the tree and things like that. One did worship a very different version of Lucifer alongside other deities, but others would say that that's like not even in the framework, right? So again, like this is such a diverse tradition. But I think what's so important to take away, though, is that it provides a structure for people to be able to find meaning and still be able to talk to each other, right? Beliefs aren't all the same, but most have this essence of balance. Most have this appreciation of nature. Most have this belief in do what you will as long as it harms none. Most have a belief in the threefold law, and many of the other pieces I said. Okay, so I would love to hear any questions if we got time. I have no idea.
Yeah, we have time. So
okay, good.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. You have one
or comments, that's fine too.
Just a minute.
Is there an element of service work in Wicca?
Element of service work. Yes, I would say so. I would say that in general, again, everything's in general. The priority for Wiccans is usually the planet, and those who live on it. So you'll see Wiccans at the forefront of environmentalist work in particular, feminist work, and the difficulty with service is in part because of how spread out and how individualized so much of Wicca is. When you have larger communities of Wiccans, you'll see a lot more. When you have like a nonprofit or something that unites the Wiccans in a community, you'll see more service work. But if honestly, Omaha doesn't have a strong presence of that because there are quite a few, but there isn't really like anyone sort of taking a leadership position to sort of unify the community for service work. But I know people who individually volunteer inspired by their tradition.
Anybody else? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. Here we go.
What are your prayers like? How do you pray?
So most of the time, there's kind of two main ways that people speak to prayers. So the first is through kind of the symbols, right? The idea of the goddess or the god, the idea of certain natural things. So, for example, let me see if I can find a good one here, but much of the time you'll see Wiccans calling upon something that kind of unites in that sense, right? And that's going to be most common in like a more public setting, right? Or in a community setting, you'll see a little bit broader prayer. And in a more private setting, you will ask for support from certain deities or certain elements, for example. I'm going to go a little deeper than I intended to, but there's sort of an idea of high magic and low magic. Okay, so high magic is all the bells and whistles, it takes more time, etc. And often Wiccans who are doing high magic will draw a salt circle in the space to sanctify the space, call in the 4 or 5 elements, depending on who you're talking to support the ritual that they're going to do. And then they'll have a ritual that sort of combines male and female. this used to be a little more sexual, but today is usually a symbolic uniting through like a cup and a wand. Now that's like high magic. Most Wiccans don't do that more than a few times a year, really. Most of the time you'll see a small altar, not too far off of this size, in someone's house. And depending on what is really needed at the time, certain things will be called upon. So my spouse, when she was struggling with some stress and depression, anxiety from an experience she had had, it was important to her to symbolically and literally, and in some sense, destroy some of those, right? So she would write on a piece of paper what the issue was, burn it in a small cauldron, and kind of ask for assistance from Skadi, which is a Norse female deity, a deity of, she's like a woman of war kind of deity. Ask for support from Skadi to be able to kind of overcome some of those issues. So you'll see all those things, often, I would say the most common experience is to light certain candles that represent certain needs. So, whether it's power or strength or luck or, calmness, you light certain candles and then meditate on them, trying to call in the support of deities that are associated with those things.
Okay. We have time for one more question. Don't be shy. This is how we learn. Okay. Hold on.
When you started your presentation, you talked about the personal and the professional. Can you delve into a little bit on the professional side, what you're talking about there?
Yeah.
For yourself?
So professionally, I have worked to support marginalized religious communities for about a decade. I really got involved with interfaith work through understanding the Baha'i faith, Sikhism, and Wicca. And those traditions really called me to understand a different point of view, right? I think I grew up in a fairly restrictive household myself, and it totally opened my mind to be able to sort of kind of step in someone else's shoes for a minute. I studied primarily heathenry in grad school, which is a Norse pagan religion, has some similarities to Wicca. It's not the same, but it's kind of related. And there's always a conversation between Wicca and heathenry, because heathenry is a little more masculine, and it's in a similar realm like of paganism, which everyone will define differently, but most people would agree that Wiccans and heathens are pagan in some capacity. Everything is a debate, but not necessarily a conflict, right?
All right. Well, let's all thank Jeremy for his time. And knowledge. That was great. Wonderful. And I hope all of you saw the common thread, the parts of unity, right? Nature. Also, when he was describing the ritual about writing things down on paper and then burning them, we do that at the burning bowl, don't we? We release things. So, always a common thread. We're different, but yet we're also one. So, keep that in mind. Okay, now is the time where we demonstrate our prosperity. And if you have been so moved, those of you on YouTube and Facebook, thank you for being with us. We do see you and we feel your energy. And you can support Unity of Omaha through your text via 402-543-5339, or go to our website, unityofomaha.org, or, of course, by mail. And for those of you in the sanctuary, when you do come up to drop in your love offering, please make sure to take an affirmation, because this is the universe's message to you today. And for me, I am easily open and freely accepting abundance now. Yes, it is, and so it is. So please say with me the prosperity affirmation. I am free to experience all blessings today.
Name your price, a ticket to paradise. I can't stay here anymore, and I've looked high and low, and I've been from shore to shore to shore. If there's a shortcut, I'd have found it, but there is no easy way around it. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Who knows why someday we all must die. We're all homeless boys and girls, and we are never hurt. It's such a lonely, lonely, lonely world. People turn their heads and walk on by. Tell me, is it worth just another try? Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Let it shine, shine. Are we alive, or just a dying planet? What are the chances? Ask the man in your heart for the answers. And when you feel afraid, love one another. When you've lost your way, love one another. And when you're all alone, love one another. And when you're far from home, love one another. And when you're down and out, love one another. And when your hope runs out, love one another. And you need a friend, love one another. And when you're near the end, love. Oh, we got to love, we got to love one another. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine, shine on us all. Set us free. Love is the answer. Let it shine. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine on us all. Set us free. Love is the answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine on us all. Set us free. Love is the answer. Everybody sing. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine on us all. Set us free. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer.
Okay, and please join me in blessing the love offerings and time and talent that we have received here today, knowing that what comes in also goes out, for this is the law of circulation, and knowing that we are one and that we send love and peace and harmony out, and we give that and receive that also. And as we support Unity of Omaha, Unity Worldwide Ministries, Unity Headquarters, Silent Unity, and all that is our community, Omaha, we know that we are here for a purpose, for a reason, and we shine our light each and every day. And so it is. Amen. All right, and now would everybody please join me with a prayer for protection? Because I say the yellows and you. All right, so here we go. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Keep learning.